Type 26 now.
Well, it's about that time, everybody. As of writing this, Jurassic World Rebirth is only 2 days away, and while I am excited for the film, there's a part of me that wishes this was the moment they went full horror, an R rating and everything. But it looks like we are going to be getting another Jurassic Adventure film, and at this point, it's the expectation. But if Jurassic Park horror is what I want, then I know just the place to look. Thankfully, during my hunt, I came across a trio of videos that seemed to be just what I was looking for. More terrifying dinosaur horror. Why do I hunt down what terrifies me the most? Who knows? But we have had a plethora of Jurassic Park analog horrors come out, and many that we have covered on this channel. So it's clear that something in the medium is working out well. Whether it's the T-Rex going on a city rampage, or just the inner malpractice of the company InGen, we've seen it all in the world of Jurassic horror, or so we have thought. As always, be sure to check out the original series before jumping into the 4+ tour jeep to see all the terrifying, really cool dinosaurs. So let's strap in, get the anti-dino spray, it should do the work, and let's waste no time into heading back into the dangerous and horrifying land of Jurassic Park. But before I let you get too far, just wanted to give a quick thank you to the sponsor of today's video, us. If you didn't know, we have a gaming channel called 4Player, where me and some of the gang terrorize ourselves with horror games. Whether it be a solo journey through a haunting indie game,
Oh my god, this is so long. Why is it so long?
or a co-op adventure that requires all of us to combine our powers.
There's no way out of here, Jonathan!
That doesn't open?
It should be a terrifying and fun time. The channel schedule has been super wonky, but more and more should start popping up on that channel in no time. So if you want some more 4+ in the realm of horror games, check out 4Player. We'll be waiting. But anyways, now you can pass through. Jurassic Park analog horror. Suchomimus found footage. Pretty sure I said that right, but I'm gonna make sure. Our footage has us dated on March 11th, 1989, and we are brought to the Suchomimus paddock at the park. Our cameraman gets closer, and we get to see the guest of honor. Our character filming explains that he wants to share some information about the park's design, some problems he has with it to be more specific. He has 14 years of animal care history and appears to know what he's talking about, even though I don't know if dinosaurs were a specialty. He does go on to prove me wrong, however, as he starts to introduce us to the Suchomimus, and lists a bunch of facts, like how it's 12 feet in height, 35 feet in length, and mostly maintains a fish diet. Lucky us. We start to take a look at the paddock the dino is enclosed in, believing it to be about 5,500 square feet, with its iconic electric fences surrounding it. And then here comes our first problem. These fences are around 13 to 14 feet tall. You see the issue? If the dinosaur walks up to the fence, it's literally only a foot shorter than it. God forbid if it stands up. Literally the only thing keeping this thing in here is the fact that the fence is electric. If it wasn't, it could leave with ease. Issue 2 is the fact that there isn't any space dug out between the dinosaur and the fencing, aka only the electric fence stands between you and the dinosaur, when normally there should be at least some kind of cutoff. Something I'm noticing here, and I'm no dinosaur expert, but this one seems to be acting a little strange. It just sits still under the tree and looks around all sporadically. Maybe it's just an animal thing, but I wouldn't want to go near it. Really, this all comes down to the fact that the company wants the visitors to be able to see the dinosaurs and get the quote-unquote full experience. But it's coming at the cost of the dinosaurs' well-being, and literally just the safety of everyone else. Our cameraman brings up the fact that no one yet even knows a whole lot about these dinosaurs, so this whole operation is just not looking good. And it's about to get a whole lot worse once we bring up some rumors he's heard.
I have also heard some rumors about workers dying while working here.
Now that totally wouldn't happen here. Our cameraman gives them the benefit of the doubt, but still has no clue how this is functioning at all. He has tried to give some recommendations, but no one is going to listen to that. But now it's time to check out the feeder. It apparently comes up from the ground. The doors then open, and the dino eats out of this tank. However, our cameraman wants to give us an even closer look, so we start to head underground to see how it functions. We take another look at the dinosaur to admire the beauty, but we have a job to do. We see that they had dug out this entire underground center just for this feeder, but we have finally arrived at the machine. The way it works is that there is a central location where the food gets processed, and then that food gets sent into what sounds like a tube network that then shoots all the food down to its assigned dinosaur. The bottom of this box that the food is in gets raised up to the doors. The doors then open, and the dinosaur gets to eat. While the cameraman says the design is innovative, it is really gross. And he is really upset at the fact that the dinosaurs are eating this nasty, probably unhealthy food. Even looking at it, it doesn't seem very clean. He reminds us that while everything above ground may look nice and fun, the machine that operates it underground is not. But this is when our cameraman gets probably the worst news of his life.
This is the control center. Do you copy? There is an escaped Utahraptor coming towards you, so you should get inside the feeder now.
Our cameraman believes this to be a joke, a funny prank being pulled. Are you sure you want to take that risk? But then again, you probably will never see me getting into the feeder of another dinosaur. The guy at the control center manages to convince him that he's not joking, and our cameraman takes this as an opportunity to confirm that the rumors are true. People have been dying at the park. Maybe not the best time, but I understand your need to make a point. The guy on the other end once again tells him to climb into the feeder. He will raise it up, but then stop it before it gets all the way. The amount of trust you have to have in this guy is insane, and I'm not sure if I'd have it. But sure enough, our visitor is just around the corner. The bottom of the feeder gets lifted with us inside it, and I can only imagine how horrible it smells. But the Suchomimus has sensed that lunchtime is here. The guy at the control center tries to keep us calm, and in a few minutes, the security team will be here. However, it seems that this dino has another idea. Who would have thought it could open doors? The last thing we unfortunately see is the camera getting thrown out of the hole, leaving us with no choice but to assume our poor cameraman is dead. This tape really stuck with me, honestly. The choice of literally having to risk your life with one dinosaur to try and get away from another is definitely a dilemma I don't want to find myself in. And while our control guy did seem concerned, our cameraman was talking a lot of crap about the park, things that could lead to future problems. So I'm a little skeptical on how accidental this whole thing is. We know how this park likes to operate sometimes. Triceratops found footage. We open up and are now following a new cameraman, this time here to investigate a vegetation issue. Apparently all the plant life is growing way too fast for them to dispose of and trim in a timely manner. Our cameraman's proposed solution is to burn the ends of the trees they trim, but who knows if the park is going to allow that. We are then taken deeper into the trees, and we end up stumbling upon something I would immediately find worrying.
What the hell? This is a nest.
There's not just one, but two nests. Our cameraman hopes that they aren't snake eggs. I suppose our minds went into two different possibilities here. I'd be more worried about a bunch of baby dinos running around. But it sounds like we have another situation happening a bit too close for my comfort. We move out to investigate, and sure enough, we see the Triceratops facing off against a Maiasaur. The two stare each other down, and our cameraman tries to contact the control room, but to be expected, nobody answers. And these two decide it's time to throw down. Our cameraman quickly tries to call the control room again. Now we have two dinosaurs just outside the cage. So much for electric fencing. We make a run for it, trying to climb up a tree like it's not the main food source for the thing. But unfortunately, to no avail. It may seem like all is over, but we slowly try to crawl our way to safety, finding some shelter underneath its main food source. We get this haunting segment where we can barely see the Triceratops, but the dino begins to munch away at the plants. But that's when we hear a vehicle pull in, and our cameraman is saved. We end up taken to a Dr. Chandra's office, where our cameraman is cleared to rest for a bit, because for some reason they still think he's going to come back after this. This tape I actually thought was fascinating. You never really see the Triceratops be so threatening. As a kid, and sort of how they show them off in the movies, it always seemed like there were friendly and mean dinosaurs. If the dinosaurs were herbivores, they were always portrayed as friendly, almost like big pets. But here, it's a different story. They are still giant menacing creatures that can mess you up if they need to, and at this moment, the Triceratops is likely still in fight mode, ready to defend its territory from anything and everything. Carnotaurus found footage. We open up and it looks like our camera has been knocked over, and over the radio we hear someone call out to the control room, claiming that they are in the medical hall and the dinosaur that was supposed to be in its cage is nowhere to be found. We are then taken to March 19th, 1989, and can overhear two employees talking amongst themselves. One of the employees is being asked if they can keep watch in the medical hall, as a new dinosaur has been sent in from another island. It's heavily sedated and won't be going anywhere. Well, isn't that funny? He is also then handed a package that is supposed to be placed in the meeting room, to which our character says it feels like a tape. But we are quickly taken to our next segment, down in the facility. Our first stop is the meeting room to drop off this tape. Once that's done, we head to the medical hall, and in the dinosaur-shaped cage, there's no dinosaur. I'd quit on the spot. We quickly run back into the meeting room, and the emergency radio call we heard at the beginning then takes place, where we believe the dinosaur has escaped from its cage. Someone gets sent over, and we are told to hide in a secure place. Hopefully it can't fit into the meeting room. We end up cutting to follow our rescuers. They are able to track the Carnotaurus straight ahead of them. It appears we then arrive at the facility, fully equipped to take on some dinos. Yet, according to the radar, the dinosaur seems to teleport behind us, but when we turn around, nothing can be found. Then when we look back at the map, it then ends up back in the medical hall. Thankfully, our characters are quick to stop using this unreliable radar, because how could the dinosaur be inside, then immediately go outside, and then inside again? Unless... Our two characters run inside the building and head straight for the meeting room. Thankfully, our original guy is still alive. He asks if we have found it, but we tell him that it's tracked to be inside the medical hall still. But we go and check to make sure. When we open the door, lo and behold, there is still no dinosaur. We go through and check the whole building, but aren't able to find anything. However, when we go to get a closer look at the cage, something really strange happens.
Are you alright?
Yes.
At first, I was very confused as to why the dinosaur looked like that, but that's when I realized it was able to camouflage itself. The cage that the dinosaur is in gets put into question. Supposedly, the bars are magnetized to keep the dinosaur in place. Any explanation doesn't seem to work though, as our character no longer wants to stay here throughout the night. And rightfully so, we even ask what happens if the power goes out, and they try to tell us that they have backup generators for the backup generators. If you have seen any Jurassic movie, you know that's a huge lie. Or if it isn't, it doesn't matter. The other guy we are with decides that he will stay in our place. We end up taken to our next segment. We end up in this computer room, and put in the tape that we had originally left on the table. It appears that our footage takes us to someone just filming out in the middle of the island. Dangerous territory, I say. We see two dinos meet up with each other and are essentially just hanging around, until a truck comes in to sort of move them to a different spot. That seems like the craziest way to do that. I don't think that truck can withstand much if either of the dinos think too hard about it. However, we end up cutting ahead to later in the day, and our two dinos seem to be having a disagreement over this piece of meat. This goes on for a bit, until the Carnotaurus starts to show some interesting abilities. And finds a new dinner. It was a brief flash, but we see this image that at first I thought was just symbols. Now call me crazy, but this looks to be some form of Newton's cradle being used to hypnotize. The eyes at the bottom seem pretty distressed. Now what sense would that make? Well, I'm not too sure, but all I know is the second the image flashed, a dinosaur was headed straight for us, as if commanded in a way. Not to mention its flashy colors. But before the dinosaur gets too close, it seems the power has gone out. Well,
They have backup generators for backup generators here. You don't have to worry a single bit.
we end up back in the meeting room and call out to the control room that we believe the dinosaur is out of its cage. And sure enough, given the noise heard off screen, I think it's safe to say that's a fair assessment.
I have a feeling that the dinosaur is out of its cage.
We end up cutting to our other characters, the one that wanted to leave, and the other one that is so sure about the generators. What do you say about this, huh? We seem to be the most concerned over our pal left to watch the medical hall, but are told that he can take care of himself, and I'm really starting to notice why the death toll is so high here. We then return to the facility, and again try to call for help, but all the phones are dead. But then it sounds like a friendly fellow has left his cage. Yeah, you may want to run, or walk, slowly. Thankfully, the dino doesn't seem to hear us, but then, it seems all hell starts to break loose. We head inside one of the rooms, hoping that this guy can't just fit through the door. But then, if I'm not mistaken, it sounds like our previous pals have returned to rescue us. We cut to outside the room, and are met face to face with the Carnotaurus. We hit it with whatever we fired, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Next plan is to haul ass. The two quickly run outside of the building and jump into the vehicle. We see the dino wasn't too far behind, but also it looks very odd. When it's said that we saved our guy, we also say that we think we saved the dino as well, and before the tape ends, it seems to collapse to the ground. This was a very interesting trio of Jurassic tapes. This one seemed to be more focused on how the park was operating and containing the dinosaurs. What I enjoyed was that this went the direction of trying to care for both us humans and the dinos, getting those perspectives from people who know that this is no way to live for an animal. We also get to see firsthand all the negligence and lack of proper care that happens here. We know what happens in the movie all the time, but it seems to be the sole focus here. And even though we want what's best for the dinos, they still are terrifying and shouldn't be messed with. I think the main lesson is that we should have never brought them back in the first place. And once again, these tapes continue to make me look at the movies with sadness, that all we get is sort of this mindless action movie with dinosaurs. Especially this last one, don't even get me started. Yet in these small found footage horrors and analog horrors, we see so many fresh ideas get brought to life. The Jurassic movies don't need to necessarily go full-on R-rated horror, even though I want them to, but they need to add at least some level of the fear back. However, that'll probably be about it for this video. As always, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the original tapes and the creator's channel, as it appears they have a lot of other Jurassic works. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to keep leaving me recommendations down below, whether it be in the YouTube comments or the community Discord where we take care of our dinosaurs. But if you'll excuse me, I just got word of a velociraptor in the vicinity, and I'm just gonna accept my fate.